You might not ever get rich, but let me tell you, it's better than digging a ditch. There ain't no telling who you might be. A movie star, or maybe even a Indian chief at the car wash, working at the car wash. Girl, come on and sing it with me, car wash. Sing it with the beauty now, car wash. Come some of the kind of hard.
All right.
This ain't no place to be if you plan on being stopped.
Thank you for joining us and our sound engineer for working at the car wash. We'll turn that down. I know that's not perfect, but boy, that's a great song. That is a great song. Derek Freund speaking to you from high atop the second floor Mastermind Hideout. We'll go back here. Promotions, planning, and design. You're at the right place at the right time. Appreciate you, and we've got a lot of wonderful material here. Derek Freund, Rogue Marketing System, Constant Contact, authorized local expert. Also, I'm a master certified, one of, I don't know, 100, 150 in the country that have this certification. It's the highest level they offer, which I will tell you, I am not a technical person. If I can do it, you can do it. When it comes to the technical thing, what I call like the plumbing issues, usually I can teach you and you can do it as good or better than I can. The creative component, the making money, the doing all these other things is really my area of expertise. I am an outsourced chief marketing officer. I speak and train for Constant Contact. I've done that since, you'll hear a little bit more about that, since 2010, which is now almost ancient history. But it's when I got started, which was relatively late in life for me. So if you're new to this, we're going to put you on the fast track to learn and get very, very proficient at this. This is my contact information here. My business, my own business that I'm a founder of is Rogue Marketing Systems. Look, surround yourself with those who are on the same mission. If you have a passion and interest to do your job, market it very, very well. You're in the right place. If you're lukewarm about doing this, just leave. I don't need the negative energy. You won't appreciate the place that I'm coming from to do that. So I am reporting to you from high atop my second floor Mastermind Hideout. This is where I do much of my writing. This is where I do much of my consulting if I'm not out doing public speaking or working directly at a client's place of business. I am here. Want to welcome you in here. We've got a number of people on this webinar live, but I want to treat this as if this was a one-on-one session speaking directly to you. So put your thinking caps on, take some notes. You will get an opportunity to get the complete download of this presentation. My producer wanted me to mention we do have another webinar coming up. This would typically be a paid event. It is available for free. The Reckoning. This is not about events or planning your campaign per se or Constant Contact. This is about 5 pillars of marketing, 10 differential things that will change your business. This is really an entrepreneurial spirit thing, but it can be appropriate for nonprofits. But if you are independent, that's something that you will want to look at very closely. Here, it's all about teamwork. This is a CrossFit competition here. It's a lot of fun here. See, I have an unfair advantage. I'm twice the age of most of these people, so I've been working out longer. My kids call it old man strength, so we'll see how long I can keep that up for. But I work hard. Today, you will have the opportunity to forever change the way you think about profit and marketing. So let's we've got some specific goals and objectives, and I have a little post-it note that says, did we get better today? Did you get better today? In this hour or so that we have together, let's see exactly what we can accomplish. I've been asked before, why should I listen to you about new and different strategies for multiplying my income? Probably half of you have heard me speak before. Appreciate you coming back. The return people here, whether you've heard this program before, this is something new. But this is what I do. Just like a CPA or an accountant or a lawyer or a doctor practice their profession, I am a full-time marketer. I've been at this for over 20 years. I do public speaking. I love speaking in front of big groups. I love speaking in front of small groups. It really makes no difference. If I have one person that's enthusiastic and I can't sing or dance, but somebody's, moving along and is excited about their business, is excited about the concepts that we're applying. You can make a lot of money doing what you're doing. You can help a lot of other people practicing your craft. So we want to help you be able to do that. And if this didn't work for me and my clients, they would chew me out and spit me out real quickly. Although they love me, we've got to prove ourselves every day. What I do is I've worked in over, actually right now, it's probably 100, closer to 170 different business product categories: sales, careers, marketing, profit, nonprofit, etc. These concepts and tools work across the board. Occasionally people will give me a compliment and they say, yeah, Derek, that's great, but that wouldn't work in my business. You're wrong. Let Big Brother Coach Derek tell you that. These principles work in all businesses. They may need to be adapted and modified. At the end of this presentation, you're going to have an opportunity to talk with me one-on-one to be able to do that. But good principles are good principles. We train others to be self-sufficient marketers. We offer low-cost, semi-customized programs to do that. And at the highest level, I operate as a outsourced chief marketing officer, where I report to typically the CEO or the executive vice president of sales, where we do everything from writing the whole lead processing, creating unique offers, lead generation, closing the sale, follow-up, client engagement, et cetera, et cetera. These principles are proven. They've been written up in Crain's, Business Week, Success Magazine, even the Harvard Business Review. So this is not just, it's a thing of Hollywood to say, oh, I got this brilliant idea. And then for somebody to, these internet basement gawker nerdy things where they're making this up in their mind. Much of marketing is hard work. It's counterintuitive. If you're past the age of 30 and you're not a billionaire yet, as Steve Jobs, God rest his soul, Mark Zuckerberg type, although they work super hard, this isn't going to come natural to you. I got started in this. This is from an old sales newsletter. I graduated from high school in 1985. There were full color pictures then. This is just from an old newsletter here. And then this is a picture when I started my consulting business, 20 years ago or so, in the basement of my second home. So we've come a long way since then. Dan Kennedy is somebody, we talk about mentors and motivators, has somebody that's been important in my life. I've had the opportunity to co-author 2 books. You go to our webpage, Rogue Marketing Systems. This book here is available as a free download. And if you want some immediate gratification here, I have another book, this one here. And I want you to have this as an unpublished or unadvertised free bonus, but I also want you to see one of the tools that's available. And this is the Book of Marketing. This is a glossary of terms. So if we say something like CTA or call to action, you may have been involved in marketing, but you didn't know what a call to action is. Intuitively, you know what it is. But if we say CTA, we want you to know that these are terms, or above the fold or above the scroll, et cetera, et cetera. We started off with the goal of having 400 terms. There's actually 600, and we're constantly updating. So you can do this on your smartphone, either now or afterwards. But write this down. You want to text ROGUE, ROGUE, to 22828. It doesn't even have to be a smartphone, by the way. It could be a regular phone. You enter your information. We have your information, so it's not we can do this to gather information, which you need to know how to do. But again, this is an unadvertised gift, and it goes beyond what we're talking about right here. This is a neat testimonial here. Ron Cates is a pioneer in email marketing and social media, or one of the grandfathers, I should say, in social media pioneer. And he's the one who recruited me into this business. And he wrote a nice testimonial saying, Derek is a badass. He's a great speaker and trainer, and he understands real marketing better than most people, or most anybody else I know. He's the one who looked at me and said, Derek, you can do this. And it was one of those meaningful speeches, one of those meaningful presentations. We shared the stage together. And I've had about 5 or 6 of those presentations in my life, different speakers or sermons, where I walked away and said, this changed my life. And anytime I address a group like this, that's always my thought and prayer is go, I want everybody. That's not realistic, but I want at least one person who will walk away from that going, this will forever change the way I think and apply my craft. So if that's you, fantastic. We're going to work together for a long time. If not, I hope you get value for your time. I have a promise here. Today, during my presentation, you will have the opportunity over the next 30 days to get over $300 worth of applied resources to your business, both in terms of information we can give you and actually me or somebody from my staff doing some of the heavy lifting, making something that happens. Because sometimes it can be a mental change or somebody going, let's lift this obstacle and get it out of the way, or let's solve this problem for you. So that's something that we do to reach out to help people and bring business to ourselves. You you give, you get. You know, it's a great way to do it. We promote it for your business. Hopefully, I'm not too distracting. I like to talk with my hands. I'm not even Italian, but I like to be expressive about that. Now let's be a marketer. Be your own chief marketing officer here. Constant Contact offers you a wonderful third-party solution to be able to create events, to be able to create promotions, to be able to have a communication. It's not the only thing. Matter of fact, for most of you, there's actually the important value is integrating the online with the offline, meaning your personality, whether you're talking with somebody on the phone, face-to-face communication, online. So don't think that the world is only digital. It's about having high tech and high touch, and not just saying that as a phrase, but in a very, very real way. At the core, marketing is about getting results. Results are the name of the game, and direct response marketing, the field that I've grown up in and am a practitioner, is all advertising, all marketing must be brutally honest, and it must be measured. So how do we measure results? Well, make money in sales. Yes, at the end of the day, donations if you're in the nonprofit world. But how do we measure actually doing this? So there's clicks and downloads. So that can be, this is a digital download. By the way, one definition explained as an infographic, as a webinar, can be the content. So go to my content workshop, sign up for that. You can get more information. But this can be a tuition guide, this can be a self-test, this can be an infographic, this can be a recording, clicks service for a doctor, restaurant menu. There we go. Menu of service, menu of food. Visits to your office or store online. We can also show you some very good scheduling software where you can book these directly online. Reservations and appointments or calls. Great little tool too, by the way, we can show you how to use, where somebody can get your email, and you should know this already. Over 50% of emails are read on a smartphone device, where somebody can actually click right from your email and it dials your office or your cell phone. Not perfect for every business, but for those people who want to generate the inbound calls, it is a great way to go, because you'll see it's all about like connections. When I say plumbing, think of a plumbing or a hose that you have in your garden. If it's open and there's pressure, it works really well. But if somebody kinks the hose, it cuts off an otherwise system that would be functioning. So if you do all these things right, this will generate revenue or donations here. Email is hard to beat. It is where people are at. 91% of the adult population is on the internet. Okay, they are online, they are receiving emails. If we were to take that statistic with the people who spend the most money, who donate the most money, who are most active, it's even higher. So essentially, it's everywhere people are, and they like to receive promotional emails. And when people say, "Oh, I don't want to receive that stuff," that's not true. That's like somebody saying, "I don't like those TV commercials," but then they're watching TV. So, they could just stream everything if that was the case. People do like to see good advertising, good marketing, find ways to benefit more from the products or service they're buying. So first, let's have a plan. The late great motivational speaker said, do not be a walking generality. You want to have a plan, a goal, or objective. What's your offer? Uh, One of the five essential elements that I teach is to have an irresistible offer. Not what's irresistible to you, but irresistible to your end-line prospect and knowing how they think and they behave. That's why coming from 156 different businesses, we know how people behave and understand both the specific and the real business that you're in. Your real business meaning the motivations, fears, concern, incentives for your best prospects and clients. So what is your offer? And this will change over time. This will change over time. You can have multiple offers, although don't confuse the prospects, but understand there are multiple offers that you can, and you can reuse these. So don't think you have to think these up. Once we get brainstorm and I start talking with people, we can usually come up with 5 or 6 right away, and that allows for the next several months of promotions. And then these can be repeated annually. Set up a campaign. So what is the campaign? This is where a lot of people fail, and they get like one good promotion. They go, no, really, what does a campaign mean? A campaign suggests that there's sequence, there's a process of events that occur, just like getting an education, just like getting started, starting at a health club. You don't show up at a health club or start a diet or nutrition program and then wind up healthy. By the way, people can get healthy. They do all the time, but it is a process. And then what are the next steps? So first off, the plan, know your marketing goal. Uh, Whether you want to reach new customers, drive repeat business. And this can be a little bit different. If you're starting from ground zero, there's a process. I know most people on the webinar today already have existing businesses. So this gives you some unique advantages where you can tap into your existing market to do upsells, cross-sells, referral marketing, etc. here. But you do always want to be able to reach new customers. Drive repeat business, motivate donors. Again, I do need to speak to our nonprofit community to be able to understand what they're doing. But again, a sale is a sale is a sale. And every once in a while, people will say, "Oh, well, that marketing is expensive." Well, good marketing is not expensive. It's an oxymoron. That's like saying good investing is expensive. If it's good investing, that means it's returning a profit. If it's good marketing, it's returning a profit, not 4, 5, 8%, but multiples, 100, 200, 400%, etc. Offers and promotions should be specific in terms of what you can offer here. Let your customers know they are valued. And by the way, they are. There's all sorts of statistics. Creating a new customer is 400% more expensive than keeping a current customer. 64%. Now, this may not be your business, but it's going to hit real close to home, Bubba and Bubba ads out there. 68% of people will leave you due to indifference. Only about 14% will leave because of poor service, but 68% leave because, oh, they're so busy, they don't need me, or another competitor. So focus on that they're valued. Nurture the relationship. By the way, and I'm doing another program coming up here specifically just on follow-up marketing. You take away all the profit incentives for, I mean, that's what pays for it, and that's what makes sense to do follow-up and nurturing. But if you didn't have that, it's just worth it for it. There's a non-monetary incentive to do this just because of the relationships. I think of the friends, the mentors, the people I've been able to help, the people who have helped me out that you meet along the way. That's a fantastic incentive. And if I ever lack motivation, I go, who's going to be a new friend? Who's somebody who's going to inspire me? What business am I going to get excited about? And then obviously to attract new customers and supporters. reach them with email here. What can we do? We can do coupons and discounts. This doesn't mean you have to make less money, but is there an incentive? Is there a coupon? So that can be a download. Free shipping can be a very, very good incentive. There's two schools of thought, by the way, with using free shipping. Some businesses right now I know in the eBay community and with Amazon and offering free shipping is even if the product is more expensive. If you buy a $20 product, but let's say they offer free 2-day shipping, and let's say the shipping is valued at $5 or whatever, there's people who will typically pass up an item that's $10 or $12 and not pay the extra $5 shipping, but pay $20. You understand the math? Because it's free, because there's a bonus. The other school of thought is having a very low priced item, and you hear the infomercials or the 2-minute commercials on TV where they'll do that, but then they have the shipping and handling, they have the shipping, the handling, and a process fee, and they up it at that. It varies. You may have your personal preference as a consumer. There may be a different way to deal with it in your prospects, but it's something worth studying. Featured products. Is there something special that you're offering? Is there something that's unique? By the way, if you're going to promote something, don't take junky old stock or crappy product. Take products, take services that people want. They'll see through that. If it's seasonal, if it's out of style, your customers understand that. You want to increase website traffic, offer the discount. Deadlines are very, very important. You see here with the Door County here, 3 days left to save. Deadlines are very, very important. It is not unusual, and this happens even with experienced marketers, where we'll have, let's say, a 10-day promotion, and 50-60% of all the sales, all the promotions come in the last day, but sometimes the last 6 hours, particularly with internet promotions. So see the goal. Go. My track coach taught me years ago in high school, you need to go for the tape. You need to lean. You need to go all the way through. If not, somebody's going to beat you at the last few moments. Donations. There's always the event, the incentive, the deadlines to do this. And if you don't have a deadline, create one. There's things like end of the month, the end of the quarter, the budget. There's a reason there. Increase membership to be able to measure this. We want to talk about getting noticed here. Use strong subject lines. We've got a whole presentation just on building your subject lines. Subject lines are the headlines. You've all heard that news headlines, whether you get them through the news feed or you buy magazines or newspapers, your news feeds. It's the subject line that is scintillating. That is the big name, other than who it's coming from, and developing your reputation through having quality materials and consistency. By the way, nothing beats consistency. Having a very strong subject line and making it very, very clear what you have to offer here. Be social. There is, I want to make sure there's a good example here. Share your newsletter. There's a share button that goes at the top of your email share button. Now, I don't want to confuse this with simple share or sharing your post. That's also important. See, share is one of those nebulous terms. But when you put this posting here where people can share that, that's not going to your Facebook page or LinkedIn or Twitter, but this means somebody can take your event, your newsletter, and share it on their Facebook page, on their LinkedIn here. Therefore, you get the referral marketing. So if somebody has 328, which I think is the average Facebook followers, one person on your list shares that has the potential to reach an extra 300 some odd of their subscribers. So you do not want to pass up that linkage there to be able to make that happen. Post your offers, use your same content in your various social media, share your product photos, ask for donations, ask questions to spark conversation, ask people their opinion, find out what they want. It's all about building the rapport. Make sure it's affordable. Not everything has to be at a 50% discount. When you work out the economics of your offer, build it in so that it works to your advantage And there's a fine art and some incredible nuances to be able to do this. Grocery stores have for years, sold milk at at no profit or at a very low price, knowing that if somebody's getting a gallon of milk for $2 or $2.25, they're walking through the whole store, going past the deli counter, the wine counter, the expensive herbs and spices, et cetera, et cetera. So it creates the traffic. It's worth making very little or even losing money in some cases to win over the customer. You may have resources that are being untapped and unused within your product or service. If you're already paying for a service call, if you already have somebody coming into your office, rendering the additional service can cost you very, very little money, but offering that as an add-on. The classic example in McDonald's is, do you want fries with that? That's the upsell. It can be in an automobile dealership. Do you want the trailer package with that? Would you like the premium sound system on that? Very, very good ways to expand the resources and the material that's available and offer a very, very nice, affordable experience for your end user customers. And you know that, or you can find out from them what they want. So match your message to your market. What is your offer? This is a favorite subject of mine. I wish we had more time to go in that. But what kind of offer are you having here? There's the obvious discounts. There's some businesses out there, it's hard to find a furniture store or a jewelry store that doesn't offer an immediate discount. If you go into a furniture store and there's a price tag of $1,500 for the couch, you probably don't have to pay $1,500 for that couch. You go into a jewelry store and there's a piece of jewelry for $1,500, $500. Ask what's the real price. Oh, well, we have a special today. Let me take care of you. There's downloads information. This can be an intellectual property. This can be information. This can be recipes. This is driving action. There can be events. There's paid events. There's free events. Years ago, I marketed to all the Harley Davidson dealerships in the country. It was a great market too, because at the time there was like 836 of them. So whether it was direct mail or faxes, this is before email was popular. It was very, very affordable to market. But they would have open houses where they'd bring people in, feed them burgers and fried chicken and soda pop, et cetera, and sometimes even do events for kids because they're selling $18,000, $20,000 motorcycles, $400 or $500 leather jackets. There's profit. Foot traffic is very, very valuable. Day before sales can be great with this. Health expos for professionals. Attorneys can do very well having estate seminars or workshops. Same for CPAs. B2B services, hints and tips, support causes. Key this into your business here. This is an example here, 20% off through Thursday. Buy one, get two, one plus one fun. 5 tips to better gardeners, quick start guide, 7 mistakes to avoid. This is offering valuable information to your best constituents, your best consumers. Think creatively. Offering valuable information on how to use your product or service is the best way to do this. It also positions you as an expert. And this can be done in any business here. A great example is with carpet cleaning. And carpet cleaners will offer free spot removals. Now, some people say, well, why would I want to give a customer a value? It doesn't cost them this, but a $5 value spot remover. I want them to call me. Well, the public knows they get a little stain on the floor. They're not going to call somebody out for a little bit of wine or a coffee stain. They're either going to try to use their dishwasher soap, which may make it worse or may not take care of it all. But they feel good about somebody that gives them the removal. Also, carpet cleaners know that in any flooring, 80% of the debris and dust and dirt can be eliminated by putting floor mats out there. Now you may go, Derek, that doesn't have anything to do with my business, and that's true. But my point is, as simple and as mundane as somebody cleaning somebody's carpet, offering information, tips, and strategy that those people know in their profession can make you stand out as being very, very valuable. Somebody who repairs cars, how can you make your car go an extra 20,000 miles, et cetera, et cetera. Register now and save. There's discounts there, VIP. There's also oftentimes very strong operational reasons why it's worth accepting less money if somebody confirms early. That happens, it's common with the airlines because it makes economic sense. If they know they can have half their airplane seats sold a month and ahead of time, it certainly makes the operation of that business a lot easier, and they have the cash flow to do the things they need to do. You will, by the way, if I didn't mention it, this download will be available to you for free of services. So take this, study it. If we go over this specifically, we can actually use this so we put these ideas into your back pocket and make them work. Sorry if I'm looking around a lot. I've got a lot of stuff going on here, and I don't want to miss anything. This is an example here for a mobile-friendly 8 simple steps. This is available in my business because mobile-friendly emails are so imperative today. This could be appropriate for a web designer. This could be appropriate for somebody with discount, sales online, coupons. So that has a broad range. As somebody who has apps how to make your back better and stronger. Top what to do if you're in an accident in your car. Top trends for front of house operations. Do-it-yourself precision instrument maintenance. Help today and receive exclusive access. People, they understand help. Help, you only have 2 days left. Drive the deadline. Donate today and a chance to join. Brainstorm these ideas. Also with your list and your audience, segmenting these can be very, very valuable. Having a prospect list, having a customer list, having a vendor list. We work with a lot of chambers of commerce. They can have their members list. By the way, if you're with a chamber, remember this. This should be obvious, but I don't want to embarrass anybody. But I work with very few chambers, or before they've worked with me, where they go, oh, we have our members list, our ambassadors list, which is all very good. You go, well, where's your prospect list? You have, let's say, 400 or 500 members, but in the business community, there may be 3,000 viable businesses that you've called on and had business cards. How about we send either the same or similar emails, even if the similar emails just had a banner across, say, look what you're missing. There can be a prospect list there. So here, there's an example here of regular customers or donors. Okay, we all understand that. But there may be another one, seasonal supporters. There's things that are seasonal that are involved. You could be a sports doctor, and during the season, you may get more injuries, or preseason, there's pre-physicals. There's things that can be predicted or understood. There's also new customers. Are they nurtured along? Do they need more communication early on? In our autoresponder series, we talk about how when somebody first opts in for your list, or you have the first contact, the importance of what are you communicating to them immediately? What are you doing the next day, maybe 2 days later, 4 days after that? And now you've fully set the relationship after that initial contact, be it online or person to person. There's some things you just can't microwave, or you can't have an initial contact and then try to microwave the experience that takes time. The best relationship, we don't raise our children immediately. There's reasons there's courtship and marriage. There's a process that goes involved that is worth nurturing. Set up a campaign. Now, what is a campaign? A campaign does not have to be expensive. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It does need to be planned out and thought. Rule of thumb, guys, is 3. 3 steps. Think of a triangle. Are you going to send 3 messages? Are you going to have 3 reasons? A triangle is the strongest geometric formula out there. It helps us think creatively. If you think about yourself, you think about the tools you're going to use, the thoughts, and your best prospects. Think of there's the expression, working all the angles. To do this here, usually it's a matter of you pushing content out. So you have your email marketing and you have your list growing system, but obviously you got to start with what you have, even if that's just 5 prospects. Start with that, and you want to be able to push out your material and then pull back the response. Make your campaigns timely, leverage key dates. Great copywriter. Copywriters are, it's a field I come from, but it's selling in print. Great copywriter, John Carlton said, one of God's greatest gifts to us is a deadline, because without a deadline, nothing would get done. I tease my CPA clients saying, you've got a great sales tool with most years, it's April 15th. People know they have to get their taxes. They know they have to get their payroll. In other forms of marketing, we have to often create deadlines so that there's a timeliness to that. So there can be deadlines. Some of them are obvious, seasonality, back to school, so on. Shipping deadlines. You want to be able to get it now, order before 4 o'clock. When does the offer end? The specific, we talked about that, whether there's free shipping, whether there's a discount, bring a friend. The season to splurge, people understand that. Leverage key dates. Let them know when the offer ends. There's this impending excitement. There's this excitement that comes along with that. Make it easy. Help them find the product. We talked about that hose, a kink in the hose. Where is the call to action? Make sure your call to action on your computer, I don't know where it is on your computer here, but make sure above the scroll line. Make sure your call to action is available above the scroll line. If you have other information, supporting documents underneath that, that's great, but have that call to action so that, and look at it both your computer screen and on your smartphone device so you know what that looks like. Also make sure the pictures and the text are sized right. It's real easy when you're familiar with your logo and you look at it every day and you put it up there. So for example here, this is probably fine here, but you have, I don't want to get too busy here, but when you look at the text, can that be read? You may know exactly what that label says, but in an email environment, you want to make sure that somebody new who doesn't know what your product or service is can read that. If the ingredients or it's manufactured in Spain or whatever, they may not have to read the fine print, but they should be able to get the idea. Communicate through pictures. This is the great thing about the modern communication. It was not that far back where printing in color cost more. Overnight delivery costs more. Nowadays, in this, we have so many tools, we can even get spoiled or forget to use these things. But make it easy for somebody. If you're doing online, make it sure that they can buy online. If it's a simple business, call, have that mobile link in there so they can make the phone call directly to you. Because if they procrastinate, they're going to put it off, and your chances of making the sale, getting the donation, go way down, despite people's best intention or what they may tell you. It's now or now. Use design wisely. Limit your choices. 2 or 3 is ideal. Old mentor mine taught me, if you're in a theater and it's burning and there's 18 exits, we're probably all dying. If it's here and here, we all have a good chance of surviving. Make it engaging with videos. This can be very, very helpful. You can videotape these yourself. You can get employees. You can get donors to do it. You may be a little uncomfortable doing this at first. I tend to be a little bit of a ham, but I don't do this as much as I should. I'm actually better at doing it for clients because, let's have fun. The public is not looking for a Steven Spielberg production every time they see one of your videos. So other presentations I'm able to click and see, but you see the business owner looking directly at it. So they can increase your click-through rate by up to 300%. Very, very valuable. It's also a great way of you being able to convey your personality. Pets and dogs and everything are great too. Spotlight your products and service, promote your videos, make it engaging with reviews. Find out the reviews that people have. You also don't have to have 500 reviews. 1 or 2 can be just as effective, particularly for a small business, somebody just getting started. Somebody just needs to know, okay, 1 other person's, 2 other people did this. And it's worth going out. You can ask your best clients for reviews. As long as they're sincere and they're appropriate, they're telling you anyway, get those published. Nowadays, 88% of reviews, people review things before purchasing. Do not be afraid to ask. I've said that. Include relevant reviews, feedbacks, and ratings. Make your information shareable. People get excited. They get passionate about the products or services they buy. Um, and they should be to you, but you're working at it 40 or 50 hours a week. Let them experience that excitement of childhood and the need for sharing and gratification and understanding that they're relevant. So use the share bar, use the simple share. Again, that's a term I say, guys, we gotta be careful about sharing. There's the share bar, and depending on which version of there's now 3 generations, and Constant Contact is working to update everybody. But the tools are called different things. But there's the share bar that goes at the top of the email, and then there's simple share, which is when you send the email that it will post to your Facebook, LinkedIn account, etc. And then there's also the having the links within your template that you send out. By the way, we do mobile templates, follow best practices, link them back to your website, link them all to social media. If you get that set up once, you can, maybe not forever, but for a long time, you can continue to purpose and repurpose that. Make sure these are mobile. Avoid using too much text. Font size is also very important. We find 22-point fonts for, I won't go back here, but and it doesn't say it there anyway, but 22-point font for headlines works very well, and 11 or 12-point for main body text. There's some exceptions there, but it's a great place to start, and you probably won't go wrong there. Also, don't use too many columns. One column, maybe one picture is sufficient. You get multiple columns, and it can look great to your eyes, but it becomes very difficult to read. And statistically, we just know there's a great percentage to drop off. So that can really hurt your campaign by doing that. Use clear and easy calls to action. Sign up today. And I said keep those above the fold. Avoid tiny fonts and hard to read colors. And this can be real tough here with, let's say, a dark background and a dark font. You can't go wrong with a white background and black font. If your color scheme is different, dark blue can work well, burgundies can work well, but let's say burgundy on a black background can become very difficult for people to be able to use. Yeah, here's the example again of the 22-point font and the 11-point body text. Use the tools that you have. Use those images carefully. Not all browsers, or when people be able to look, are they able to instantaneously see the picture? So you want to have a description of the picture there, or if you have an image, let's say the 10% coupon, label it, say 10% coupon, say a demonstration video. Make sure to label that appropriately so that people go, oh, what am I looking at? What am I clicking on here? And they can, click here to download the pictures. Use those carefully and use those appropriately. And you'll get better with time. You'll get better with experience in doing this. And don't be afraid to make a mistake. We've all had instances, and that's really the advantages in a digital media. People can understand mistakes. You can resend. That makes a good subject line. I wouldn't do it intentionally. I don't like doing that. But if you honestly, there's some people who they fib a little bit and they actually don't make a mistake, but it's a reason to send it out a second time. I don't believe in doing that. But if you honestly make a mistake, and whether it's 2 minutes later or 20 minutes out, to put in your subject line, oops, I made a mistake, the link wasn't in there. It's now a second chance to come back, a second chance to make a point. Or if you forget to put in a link or another part of the sale, you can go back. It's another opportunity to get in front of your audience. It costs you virtually nothing to do that. And in the old days, if you had, let's say, a Yellow Page ad printed up and a phone number was wrong, it was like, oh my gosh, it's a year or sometimes even like 14 months before it can get corrected. Direct mail, all these things need to be precise. Here, be precise, be accurate, but get the information out. And if there's a mistake, you can correct it. And in most instances, people are very forgiving. So a quick overview here of what we're doing here. Again, this is a lot of information here. You're going to want to put these ideas. We're going to want to discuss these, go over these, but know your goal. So if it's we want to finish the end of the month very, very strong, or we have an objective ambitious to double our sales. By the way, side note, for people say when you sit down, you go, well, what's your goal? Well, I want to double my revenue, or I want to double my personal income. And we go, okay, great. What are you going to do? Well, I'm just going to continue doing what I've been doing. What? Or I'm going to do one extra thing. You think you're really going to double your income just doing one thing? Is that a plan? Now maybe if it's one thing every week, but one thing once, that's probably not the right proportion of energy, work, and effort to double a business. And you know that, but don't fool yourself or think that's the only way to do that. Excuse me. Know your offer. Think creatively about the irresistible offer and the incentive that's going to create and motivate somebody to buy and get a response. And this can be just a lead generation thing too. But no, so it can be a free offer. It can be a low price offer to get somebody in the door, to get them used to doing your business. When I say door, I mean that figurative. It can be a literal or it can be a figurative term. Know when to send your information. There's an old expression. Think about this. What's the difference between salad and garbage? Well, the punchline is time. We could go to lunch today and get an incredible salad. It can have lettuce and tomatoes and greens and Michigan cherries, spinach, artichoke hearts, avocado. I'm getting hungry just thinking about this. Maybe some organic chicken on there, balsamic vinaigrette dressing. This fantastic salad that's presented for us. And within a reasonable time of that being put in front of us, it's great. But if we go from 12 or 1 o'clock in the afternoon and it just sits there, it just sits there, by the next day, it's garbage. It's junk. It's garbage. It's not edible. The nutrition value has gone away, and it can actually make us sick. So consider the timing. That I know that's a dramatic example here, but think about when to send and how to test the best time of the day. Well, there's a way to select the test here. Three different audiences that you can use. Select the day or the week. A lot of times you may be familiar with this in your business. Traditionally, people who are selling, let's say, movie or theater tickets, Thursday is a real popular day of the week to be able to get that information out. Business, a lot of the communication happens early in the week. So you know this, although be sensitive to the time changes. When I first got involved with this email marketing, there was this reality that most emails were sent on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not bad advice now, but it's become dated because now we're working on a 24/7 calendar. People are checking their emails around the clock. It's a rare business person that will shut down their emails at 5 o'clock on a Friday and not open it up until 8 or 9 on Monday morning. So select your audiences, select the day of the week, send your email, and find out when the best open rate is. Look at that and see if there's something that is sensitive. Sometimes nonprofits or people who are working with children after school, 8 o'clock in the morning may not be the best time when that particular audience is receptive to your message. So test and compare in your systems module. You can see those open rates. By the way, you actually know who is opening that. That's another strategy here. But if you run a sales program, I've done this before where, long story short, but if you send out 1,000 emails, just for example, I did this with a paint wholesaler. I said, look, you can send out 1,000 offers, and if you have, let's say, a 20% open rate, you can actually look to see what are the 20% who have opened those. Now, if you know that, and now you're going to have a team follow up with phone calls or to send another promotion, you know that they've already looked at that. That's like somebody who's already been in the store. So those can be the hot leads. If the other ones need to be warmed up, maybe they need a second email. But my point is you can now look at that. By the way, it's also not helpful to say, ooh, I see at 3 o'clock, John, you open my email. They'll think you're a little bit weird, but it's insider information that you have, and it's a tool that's very, very powerful. Anyway, back here to the bunny trail here, but that's information that was worth the price of admission right there. Select 3 different times, test your open rate here. Sample marketing calendar. A fantastic tool is a regular calendar. This is a wonderful, wonderful way. Obviously, online tools. This is one of the greatest things we do for clients is we set up an online media calendar for them. You can do this for yourself or work with the team on being able to do this. But if you commit, you say, okay, what are we doing on, let's say, Mondays? What are we doing on Tuesdays? What are we doing daily? What are we doing this here? And you set up a habitual process here. It can be worth its weight in gold. You want to be able to automate what you can. Any type of campaign, you can have a campaign to nurture, let's say, a new prospect, customer, or donor. Set up a welcome page. Somebody goes to your website, they sign on, set up a welcome process here. Schedule the campaign when they're going to go. We work with a formula where typically somebody gets an instant message from the email so they recognize, oh yeah, they know who I am, and here's a list of services, and then what's the follow-up. That can be all automated for you because we've all cringed where you meet a great prospect and you maybe send them a one-off email or maybe you forget and you don't have an ongoing process. Before we started this webinar, I got a call this morning. I'm not usually able to do that here, but I've now got a prospect here, somebody who called me. They're very interested, very motivated here. I got to make sure that they're in the system and I'm following up both personally, obviously, because there's a relationship, there was a referral, but also that my automation system is working as it should be. So create your user autoresponder, schedule your posts in Facebook, Hootsuite. These things can all be scheduled in advance. Do not feel you have to do this in real time. You set it, and then you go on and you practice your business. If you're doing it real time, you're exhausting yourself and you are not using your time productively. Spend 20 minutes, 3 to 5 times a week to be able to, especially with your social media. Do not allow these to become time vampires or get help with these things. Look to be able to schedule your post here. You can schedule your post to send because the timing, again, is very, very important. You may be getting finished up with your post, at 9 o'clock in the evening, but in a business-to-business environment, maybe you want that to post at 8:30 in the morning. You also maybe don't want all your Facebook posts to show up. You never want them to show up all at once. You want them to be segmented throughout the day here. So look at your calendar here and schedule the time that makes sense for that to go out for you so that you know the trigger events. This is, call me weird, but sometimes when I'm in front of an audience or I'm involved in something, I know I have autoresponders going out and electronic things working for me. And it's always like, man, this is great leverage. This is empowerment. I'm doing one thing and something else is happening. Or I'll go on a vacation with my family and I'll schedule these things in advance. And you don't want to work when you're relaxing, but to be able to be getting on an airplane, going somewhere, going, this automation is working for me, and it's all set, and it's not like a typical payroll or having to have staff, doing all these things for you. It's for pennies or next to nothing. It all happens. You need to measuring. If you're not measuring, you're not marketing, you're not a good manager. You want to be able to look at the results. You can look at this here. Oh, there's a little bug that ran up there to be able to do this here. But look at your unique clicks. Find out what your click-through rate is here. You can actually see here, I have to look at the other side here to see this here, but look at what people are doing. Now you can click on that button, you can actually see the individual who's doing that, who's going to your Pinterest, who's going to your Facebook page, who's going to your online media. Look and be able to follow this. These processes will tell you your best prospects. They will show you who's sharing, and make sure to thank them for their help. Send them newsletters and special offers. Check your reporting tools. Reward customers who have clicked. Encourage them to share their information. So getting back, there's some ideas that you want to be able to use, you want to be able to apply systematically in your business. Knowing when the sales, knowing when the promotions, knowing when the seasons are coming up for your best campaigns in your designs. Also, once you have something that's well designed, you want to be able to repurpose it. Do not feel compelled that you have to recreate something over and over again. You can get in other presentations, I talk where you get these ideas. Well, what have you used before? If this was a personal session or when we talk to you afterwards, we can expect me to ask or tell me ahead of time. We'll say that. What has worked well for you before? What have competitors done that's worked very well? What have people who market to your same customers, not in this case, in the third case, not competitors, but people who sell to a similar market. Think of, let's say, a health food store and a personal trainer or a gym. People who exercise tend to also be concerned about their nutrition and take vitamins, and vice versa. So they're selling to the same or similar market, but they're not competitors. Think about how this is being used. Use these examples for tools. What's seasonal? What's events? Some of you have businesses or programs where it's already built into. You're reacting to this and consider that a blessing. Let's find out how to augment these, how to give it a certain sex appeal, a certain dynamic energy so that it motivates people to go to you, to buy from you, not your competitor. Shared a lot of information here in a short period of time. One of my heroes growing up was the movie star and martial artist Bruce Lee. He's a great writer and philosopher. He said, knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. We must take action in what we do here. Take action on what we've shared today. Think of your campaign right now. Bring out your calendar. Think in terms of 3. These are all things you can put on a little 3x5 card that I've coached you through here, and I hope you feel it's been a personal experience. Surround yourself with those who are on the same mission. We are here to help. We're not the only ones. I feel, it's a biased opinion, that we are the best for a certain niche market, that we have a passion and energy we want to see you do very, very well. Join me up here for other webinars. Get the resources that are available for you. Quick little offer that we have today. In a moment, you're going to get a link that you can click on to schedule a one-on-one appointment. I know we've had people, and I've seen some questions point up here. I'm sorry I haven't been able to answer those. I always like to make sure that's a second webinar that somebody's been on before we open that up for Q&A, because I know half of you, there's specific questions and there's general questions. And when I get a known client, I start answering a specific question, which may not be right in a general environment. So forgive me for not doing that. But more important, you'll get a link, and this is only available today or tomorrow. You'll get a link to my telephone schedule appointment. Take a time right now. Schedule that time. I only take appointments. I do not take calls just randomly. We will go over, it's not a sales pitch. We will go over, I have a whole list, by the way. By the way, this is for current customers and this is for non-customers too. There used to be just offers that were available to to new Constant Contact customers, or even if you don't use Constant Contact. And the experienced people would say, why? Well, this is the link, by the way, guys. This is why are you giving somebody to new customers? I thought, well, let me offer something here that's just as good. This is the link that you're going to see in a moment here. And you can go right here to the Constant Contact Quick Start Guide. Click there, and then you're going to see my calendar. What we have for you here, just going back here with a little bit of time we have left, is, I won't read every one of these, but if you do not have a mobile template, Home Office, when they did this, they charged $197. We do it for only $47. Custom template that you can reuse. It's all linked in with your social media. It matches your website. Best practices. You can use that over and over again. Make sure that's right. If you see our mobile presentation, I can show you where one business increased their open rate by 50%, their click-through rate by 300%. And that wasn't even the creative stuff that I'm passionate about. This was just getting the plumbing right, getting all the connections right in being able to do that. We go over 7 of the most frequently missed profit opportunities. So see that, take advantage of what we have here. We are out of time here. We pushed this to the limit here. This is Derek Freund. God bless. We'll see you on the next webinars. Look for what we have here, and let's finish up here with a little bit of